Oh yes, it's Nick Shell. And boy, am I proud to be an American. I live in a country where I'm not forced to choose between two candidates for the election. Now this year, I think many people assume that they have to choose between someone they don't really want to endorse. I think a lot of people feel that way. There are certain people who are like Trump all the way or I'm with her, and that's their thing, and I totally respect that. But what I feel, based on listening to most people talk about the election, is that they're not really happy about the two candidates we were given. So they have to, quote, choose between the lesser of two evils, is what they've got to do. Now, as for me, this is the first time that I've ever not voted for one of the main two people I'm supposed to vote for. And I've voted in every single election so far. So I'll just lay it on out there. I voted for Gary Johnson, the Libertarian Third Party. Now, what I'm not saying is that you should vote for him. I don't care who you vote for. I literally could care less who you vote for. But my whole point is I actually voted. I actually voted. And I can be proud of that. That's something to be proud about. And I can also be proud in knowing that I didn't vote for someone who I thought was an evil person. I mean, if you're voting for the lesser of greater evil people, what are you doing? You're voting for an evil person according to your own opinion there. And please know that I'm not saying that either Trump or Clinton is evil. I don't care. I'm just saying, though, ultimately, I had a choice, and I chose not to vote for either of them. Well, they would say, well, come on, Nick. You wasted your vote on a third-party Gary Johnson. He's never going to win. There's no way he's going to get elected. Now, what are my honest thoughts on that? My honest thoughts are you're probably right. He's probably not going to win the election. I voted for him. He's probably not going to win because most people are going to choose Trump or Clinton, though they think that they're both evil people. Again, that does, for me morally, that doesn't set right with me morally. If I think two people are evil and I'm going to vote for one. So I would rather, in essence, take that vote away from one of the evil people. So I don't know if I took that vote away from Trump or for Clinton. I'm not sure how that ends up, but when it's all said and done and we can look at the election results and we can see, can we be able to measure how much Gary Johnson or even Jill Stein may have taken away from Trump or Clinton? Maybe we can, because I heard that's what happened with Ross Perot when he was running against Bush Sr. And Clinton. I heard that basically he took votes away from Bush Sr. Maybe he did, and maybe that's ultimately what I'm doing. And what that would, the situation that puts us in is if you're a hardcore Clinton supporter, then you may not like my decision that I voted for the third party. Why? Because ultimately I may have taken a vote away from Hillary Clinton. Maybe I would have ultimately chose her. Or if you're hardcore into Trump, maybe I took away a vote from him. Maybe, and then usually I would have voted for him, and now I didn't. But here's the thing about this. I well researched this whole thing. I didn't go into this election thinking, I'm a libertarian. I'm going to vote for Gary Johnson no matter what. That's not actually what I did. I actually watched all three of the debates very carefully. I listened to everything they had to say. And me being directly honest with you here, I can honestly say that there were several things that Donald Trump said that I thought to myself, I even told my wife, I said, I agree with him on that. But just as much, I looked at my wife and said, after hearing what Hillary Clinton had to say, I agree with her on that. And just as equally, if that's a proper phrase, I'm an English major, so I should know that. But I also, about Trump, said, I do not agree with what he just did or said. And same thing with Clinton. So I equally disagreed with both of them, and I equally agreed with them. And I don't necessarily think that they're evil people. I don't want to be known as the guy who decides that. I'm not the judge of anybody. It's not for me to decide who's evil or not. But ultimately, I gave them a fair chance. I went into it with an open mind. I spent, how many, like 90 minutes times 3? I'm bad at math, I'm good at English. However much time I spent giving them both an honest chance to win me over. And if I felt one way about the other, I would have voted for the one that sold me on it, but neither of them sold me on it. And ultimately, I knew that for me, when I looked at Gary Johnson, his ideals matched up the most with mine. When it comes to finances, I'm very Dave Ramsey. I'm all about saving money and not wasting money and tracking our money. And then when it came to, laws about society, as far as that goes, I'm like, let the states figure all that out. I'm not really that concerned about that. That's why we have states to figure that out. So Gary Johnson, by default, was the one that matched up to my own beliefs. But again, I'm not telling you to vote for them. I'm saying I win credibility in social media because I actually voted. Think of how many people are going to be talking about who they endorse, but they're not going to vote. Or they're going to be talking about who they don't endorse, saying all these negative things, and yet they're not going to vote. Because why? Because they're both evil people running for president, and neither of them deserve to be elected. It's just a circus. Well, guess what? I actually voted. And so we'll see what happens. Now, at this point, because I apparently took a vote away from somebody, that means most likely either Trump or Clinton's going to be the president. And at least I can know that as far as what I could actually control, which was my vote, I did something about it. The part I can't control is what everybody else does. So I'm not worried about that. That's why you're not going to hear me talking bad about Trump or Clinton. You're not going to hear me talking, going around promoting Gary Johnson, though I voted for him. Because my vote means more than anything I could say, right? Wouldn't we have to agree? So, I'm proud to be an American who can vote for a third party. And I did for the first time in my life. I feel so proud about that. So, we'll see what happens with the election. But just a reminder, not only do you not have to choose between two evil people, there's other people you can vote for. Gary Johnson's not the only one, but he's the one, again, because I researched what he believes and what he stands for. And he matched up exactly what I was looking for. The things about Trump that I like and the things about Clinton that I liked were fused into one. And the things that I didn't like about the two of them, I didn't see present with Gary Johnson. So that's why I voted for him. Vote for whoever you think you should vote for based on your beliefs. But please, don't do it on an evil person. Don't vote for an evil person. If you think they're evil, then how morally is that the right decision? Two evil people? No thanks. I can't in good conscience vote for a person I think is evil. So I voted for someone who I didn't think was evil to begin with. He just simply shared my own views of how things should work. But hey, all I did was vote. That's all I did. I did what I could do, and I'm proud of that. So I'm Nick Schell, not endorsing Gary Johnson for president, nor am I putting down Trump or Clinton. What I am endorsing is actually voting. You can do early voting in most states. I actually voted, and that's what I'm here to promote. Actually voting. And I'm also here to promote voting for the person that you really want to vote for. Forget what everybody else does. Forget about peer pressure. If you want to vote for someone who's not Trump or Clinton, do it. I did. Thanks for watching. My name is Nick Schell.